Sorry, I didn't have myself. Hello, everybody. I'm BDIV, and welcome to BDIV and the Boys, the talk show where we talk about everything going on in this crazy world, pretty much the sports world. So I'll start off like this. If you want to, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. This screen is just messing me up. We're at a new location, undisclosed. Can't really tell you. But if you want to email me about anything, whether it's sports news or want to join the show, make sure you email me at bdivatb@gmail.com. I had a few emails already. I really loved them. I enjoyed them. Some kid even suggested that we talk about plum school fights. Like plum school fights. He wants to talk about school fights and projections and who's going to win. We're going to be talking about fights tonight, but no, we're not going to be talking about that. That's unreal. So we are going to be talking about fights, like I mentioned. Tonight is fight night. Big UFC card 259 is tonight. We have Adesanya going off. We have Nunez. We have all these fighters ready to go here. We're also going to dive into the NBA All-Star Game, which is tomorrow. All the events are tomorrow, starting at 6:30, and we also have NFL free agency news, along with a ton of music news. So again, we're adding diversity here. BDIV and the Boys. So before we get started, I thought I'd show you my outfit, like I always do. I got my Bubba Gump hat on. Sheesh! And I got my IB Anorexia t-shirt on because I did that. So I think the first thing we're going to dive into here. Oh, I don't have my Google Doc up. Oh, jeez. I apologize. I'm just so disorganized. What?
They don't know who you're talking to. They think you're just talking to the wall.
Oh, right. They think I'm talking to the wall. So Saturdays, I'm going to try to make things live here on BDIV and the Boys, which I think will definitely bring some viewers in. I mean, I don't know. I also have giveaway news to talk about later in the show. They don't even know about that yet, but definitely got some stuff to talk about in the giveaway world. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is the NBA All-Star Game. So this previous Thursday night, LeBron and Kevin Durant, that was weird, drafted their squad for tomorrow night's All-Star Game in Atlanta. The tip-off is at 8 o'clock. That's when the game starts, but the festivities, if you will, start at 6:30 p.m. with the Taco Bell Skill Challenge. Following will be the Mountain Dew three-point contest, then the long-awaited AT&T Slam Dunk contest at halftime. It is important to note that many, and I mean a ton of players, opted out of doing these events. They don't have to. It's not in their contract that they have to. To start, Hornets players LaMelo Ball, and Miles Bridges both opted out of the skills challenge and the dunk contest, respectively. Who else? Who else opted out here? Yeah, not respectively at all. I agree. Oh, right. Zion Williamson, Anthony Edwards, and Jaylen Brown all opt out of the dunk contest. Instead, we have a bunch of nobodies none of us have heard of. The dunk contest will now host some names. Again, I've never heard of. Anthony. It's spelled Anthony. Anthony Simmons. It's Cassius Stanley, right?
Yep.
And Obi Toppin.
Obi-Wan.
Damian Lillard is the only player to decline an offer to the three-point contest, but the card, which fight night, of course I say the card, is still stacked. We have Devin Booker, well, probably not Devin Booker anymore because I'm pretty sure he's hurt. Steph Curry, Zach LaVine, who is a dunk contest. Did he win that dunk contest?
Yeah,
Aaron. For
years.
sure. Aaron Gordon got snubbed. Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, who oddly enough opted out of the dunk contest, but maybe he's just, I don't know, maybe he's afraid of getting hurt dunking, whatever that means. The skills challenge also has some names you could definitely remember. Luka Doncic, who we previously talked about, had a training card, a real card that went for $4.6 million. Check out the last stream if you want to go to see that. Chris Paul and Julius Randle are among 6 players competing in the skill challenge. First person, before we get to my live audience here, first person I want to bring in is Brandon. Brandon, what's up, buddy?
What's up, bro?
Shut up! Okay.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, sorry. Brandon, I already have to go pee. Give me a second. All right, so the pee break is already over. Again, sorry, just really had to pee there. Let's check our comments early. Big Brando Big Meat's already asking questions. This is the guy. I don't know. He's the one who emailed me and was like, "Dude, you got to talk about plum fights." I was like, well, "What the hell?" He asked me what's my favorite candy flavor. I don't really like. What's it? Cherry?
Strawberry.
Yeah, we'll go. Well, yeah, cherry, strawberry, somewhere along the lines of there. So, not to drift off the topic here, Brandon. Let's get back to the All Star game here. So, the NBA All Star game. All the events are held tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about that? All the events in one day.
It's never been like that before. It's the first time it's been like that. Normally, all those little events were held the day before the actual All-Star game, so it would be kind of unique. To have everything in one day. It'll be interesting. I think it adds a little spice to the day, and we'll see what happens. The 3-point contest looks interested, but to be honest with you, I can care less about the dunk contest. You know what I mean? I just, I have no interest in it, and it's fallen off ever since Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine had that great contest in 2015. So that's my thoughts about it.
Yeah. Again, we were just talking about that. That probably was like one of the better dunk contests in a while. Like that was definitely up there. Another question I have you, which I'll ask these guys in a second. So, Anthony Davis originally got hurt for the All-Star game. And Devin Booker replaced Anthony Davis, I believe. And now Devin Booker is hurt. So now you have – shut up! Quiet! That was very rude. I apologize. So Devin Booker replaced Anthony Davis, and now you have Mike Conley replacing Devin Booker. What are your thoughts on that?
I like Mike Conley. He's been in the league for a long time, and he's never been an All-Star before. Obviously, I saw DeMar DeRozan's tweet last night, and hey, man, DeRozan's having a great season. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it. And the Spurs have definitely overachieved this year, and they're a very good team. But Mike Conley deserves it, man. He's been in the league for a while. He's had a good season, and I would argue he's just as important to the Utah Jazz as Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell are, because he could take pressure off them two guys. He's the point guard. He's the facilitator. He gets everybody in the right spots. And I'm just very excited to see Mike Conley make the All-Star game. And, it is what it is with DeRozan. He's been a 4-time All-Star. He's good. I'm happy to see Mike Conley get in. And the Utah Jazz have the best record in the league, too. So 3 All-Stars is definitely good for them.
Yeah, and I guess my thing is like DeMar's definitely having a better season. But as far as Mike Conley is in his career and it being his first All-Star appearance, I think he is definitely due. Let's bring in now our live audience. Oh, no, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna
mute.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. So I apologize. Here, let me change the angle here so you can see everybody. You can see everybody a little bit right there. Ethan's cut off. But joining me is Max, Zach, Alex, Fraz, and also Ethan. Again, I apologize. Ethan's not on the screen. But, guys, so the All-Star game is tomorrow. Everything's tomorrow. I'll ask you guys about that. Fraz, I'll start with you. This is beta testing, guys. This live audience thing. So we're gonna try this. But Fraz, so everything is tomorrow, starting at 6:30. You have your skills challenge, and then the 3-point contest. And at halftime, you have your dunk contest. What are your thoughts on that?
It's never really happened before. It's going to be a lot in one day. I don't know if they're going to get as many people watching the show as much, but I think having them all 3 at once will just be just a really long show, and it's going to be a lot. But I can't wait for the dunk contest. I want Obi-Wan to win. and that's
Obi-Wan.
my prediction on the dunk contest.
Yeah, so I guess we'll dive right into that next. Brandon, out of all these guys, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I've never heard of any of them. I think I've heard of Obi Toppin before because of his name, not because of a player. Max mentioned that. Gosh, no, I'm not answering Brando Big Meat's questions right now. Brandon, we have three guys who are replacing some guys who would have, in my opinion, put on a way better show. You have Zion Williamson, Anthony Edwards, and Jaylen Brown all opt out. Who do you see out of these three guys? I don't know how much you know about them, but who do you see winning? Anthony Simmons, Cassius Stanley, or Obi Toppin?
Wow. I've never heard of them guys before. I've heard of Obi Toppin though, so I'd probably go with him just because I've heard of him before. I've never heard of them other guys. I'll be 100% honest with you, and that's the reason. Honestly, though, I already told you though. I have no interest in the dunk contest. So whoever wins. I could care
whoever
less.
wins. Now this brings up another question, Alex. I'll ask you this one. So, if it were between Zion Williamson, Anthony Edwards, and Jaylen Brown, who do you have taken home the win?
100% Zion Williamson. You've seen all the crazy dunks he's done in high school and even at the college level. I feel like him in a dunk contest would be a lot of viewers and a lot of people tune in and see that.
Yeah, I agree. He's the fastest player to reach 1,000 points in a game, or not in a game. Idiot. 1,000 points in his career. I'm drawing blanks right now. I really need to focus up here. I apologize. So yeah, Brandon, I'll ask you the same question. Who do we have winning between those three?
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
Because he's athletic, man. Crazy dunks. He's done windmills in games, and he's just a great dunker, man. And watching him closely over the past few years, I think he would definitely win because I think Jaylen Brown has that competitive spirit to go out there and put an absolute show on. So I go Jaylen Brown.
Now here's the thing, Brandon. I'm gonna be honest. I'm smelling some Celtics fan bias here. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I mean, Jaylen Brown definitely all six of those guys, including the ones who are in the dunk contest. They're all athletes. But I'm gonna agree with Alex here. I think Zion Williamson definitely wins the dunk contest if they're together. But that brings us into our next event, or one of the next events, is the Mountain Dew 3-point contest. Again, Damian Lillard, the only player to be opting out of the event, and then you have Devin Booker, who's probably not going to compete in the event because he's not playing in the All-Star game either. Max, I'll go with you here. So again, let me just read off these guys here. Steph Curry, Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. Who do you have winning the 3-point contest tomorrow?
I mean, I'm probably going to take the person most favored. It's probably going to be Steph Curry. I mean, it'd be great for him to win one. And I know we talked about this before a little bit with, like, the dunk contest, like, the hype of it going down. But I thought the 3-point contest, like, over the past couple years, it's kept the hype. Like, we've had a lot of good guys in these 3-point contests.
Definitely.
Compared to how the dunk contest has kind of been declining for the past couple years.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I think Curry definitely is the better shooter, or the best shooter out of all these guys. I think it's kind of weird personally seeing Zach LaVine in the 3-point contest, and that just goes to show how much his game has really evolved. I mean, he's always been pretty good, and he's playing really well right now. Brandon, I'll ask you next. Who do you have winning this 3-point contest tomorrow?
Like, I agree with Max, man. I ain't betting against Steph Curry in no 3-point contest. I'm going with Steph Curry. I mean, I can't bet against the dude. Until I see someone beat him, I ain't betting against him. That's all I got to say about that. Steph Curry all the way.
Yeah, and again, you just have guys who they're known for fly-eyeing and dunking the ball. Dunking the ball really well. Donovan Mitchell, another one on there, and Jaylen Brown, who was supposed to be in the dunk contest. So again, you just have some guys here who are known for dunking, but still in the 3-point contest. Let's move on to our last event, which is the skills challenge. So what they try to do with the skills challenge is I think they put like big guys against big guys and then guards against guards for the skills challenge. It's basically just like it's basically just like passing and then dribbling and then finishing with layups and stuff like that. So even though he's not on the screen, I'm going to ask Ethan this question, which he will be on the screen right now. There he is. Look at that camera. That's sick. So Ethan, we have some names here. Let me read you some of these names: Luka Doncic, Chris Paul, and Julius Randle, and then I believe Vucevic from the. Who does Vucevic play for?
Orlando Magic.
Oh, he still plays for the Magic?
He might get, dude.
Yes.
He's looking at Brandon's team, the Celtics.
Oh, Vucevic going to the Celtics, maybe.
I would love that.
Oh, well,
like
I'm
that.
sure you would. I'm sure you would, Brandon. I'm sure you would.
I ain't even gonna lie about that.
Well, I'm sure you would, Ethan. So, out of those names, who do you have winning the skills challenge?
I definitely gotta go with Chris Paul for the guards because, I mean, he's just known for passing and he's a very good point guard overall. I mean, Luka Doncic definitely has a chance at winning that, but I gotta go with Chris Paul for the guards, and then I'm gonna go with Sabonis for the big guys.
Oh, Sabonis.
I don't know much about those guys, but I definitely think, for the most part, he has a little bit more skill.
So
He's
they
more
threw
well-rounded than the other two.
they threw Sabonis with the big guys. Even though he is a power forward, I believe, right, Brandon? Sabonis. He plays for the Pacers, right?
Julius Randle.
Yeah, him and Miles Turner start together in the front court. So
Yeah. So he's probably like the 4 then. So
yeah, definitely power forward.
So again, I'm gonna ask Fraz here because again, more Knicks questions. Ask more Knicks questions. Fraz, Julius Randle is competing in this skills challenge. Do you think he definitely takes home the dub for the big guys?
I think he definitely has a chance. He's very underrated in the NBA right now. Not really many people know about him because the Knicks were just so bad for many years, but they're starting to come back. They're over 500. But yeah, I definitely think he has a chance to beat Julius, or for Julius Randle to beat it for the big guys.
Yeah, and out of those guys, I mean, Vucevic is like, I don't know. I think he's competed in it before, but I think he's like a little like too big. But
yeah, I think Max had the question.
I was going to ask. LaMelo's not doing it, right?
Oh no,
he's one of the guys.
No Melo.
Brandon, how do you think LaMelo would have done?
He would have done great. He's very skilled, and I was kind of hoping he'd be in it, but to be honest with you, it is what it is. LaMelo will be in the future, so that's what I gotta say. He would have did great.
Yeah, LaMelo definitely would have done. I think he may have had a chance to win. I'm gonna go with Luka here. Luka, in my opinion, is the best athlete out of all these guys. Chris Paul is definitely like so. How the skills challenge works, actually, I believe it's like there's like literally like rings, like they do in like they used to do.
It's like isn't there 3
passing rings? You hit 3.
Yeah,
you got to dribble through.
So Chris Paul is probably the most accurate out of all of them. Like the dude's a sharpshooter in passing, if you will.
It really comes down to that pass and then the 3-pointer.
The 3-pointer. So I'm gonna go with Luka solely for the fact that he's just he can do a lot more. But let's get into the most important part of Sunday night. Tomorrow, starting at 8:00, is the All-Star game. LeBron and KD both drafted teams. I probably should have. Here, hold on. I don't even have the team rosters here. LeBron versus KD in All-Star game. Thank you, Ethan. So it's important to note that KD isn't even playing. He just drafted a team, which is really dumb. But he has, if you look at these teams, KD has 3 more players than Anthony Davis is hurt and so is Devin Booker. So yeah, that would make sense that they actually have 3 more. But the starting 5 for Team LeBron is LeBron himself, Curry at the 1, Luka at the 2, Giannis at the 3, LeBron at the 3, Giannis at the 4, and Nikola Jokic at the 5. And then I know I said Jokic. Okay.
No, that's a good team.
LeBron definitely did better. Team Durant was supposed to start. He's not going to. You have Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard, and Jason Tatum. I might have said those out of order. But Brandon, who do you? I mean, I know this isn't really like a serious game because it's pretty much just showing off dunks, alley oops, deep pointers, one-on-one ISO, stuff like that. Who do you have? Who do you think will outperform, if you will, in the All-Star game tomorrow?
Wow, who I think will outperform? Honestly, I'm gonna say it's Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert because those guys have a chip on their shoulder because those were the two last picks in the draft, in the All-Star draft, and LeBron basically laughed at their team. So I think they're gonna come out with something to prove. And the Utah Jazz, man, I really like their team, so I'm gonna go with Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert. And I know it might shock people, but it is what it is. Those dudes basically got slapped in the face the other night, and I think they're gonna come out with something to prove.
Yeah, both. It was both players, and then now you can include Mike Conley, are the last three players to be drafted in the All-Star game. And excuse me, I have to itch my nose here. Slime, all slime. It's important to note that those Jazz guys. I think I literally just said this, but three Jazz players, all three were to go last. Alex, I'll ask you: Team Durant or Team LeBron here?
Dude, Team LeBron is overpowered.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Giannis, Curry, LeBron, a team stacked. KD's definitely got the better reserves, but I'm gonna have to go Team LeBron here.
I mean, you have to look at it this way. LeBron has all MVP front, all those players. You can make an argument that they have a chance of winning MVP this year. I definitely would go with Team LeBron, and yeah, I agree. Kevin Durant's team has a lot better reserves, and also they have. I think it's important to note that they have Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal, I think, literally averages like 30 points right now. The dude's on a hot streak. We talked about him a little while back, either the first or second episode. It was probably the second episode because that's when Brandon was with us. But yeah, I'm gonna say Team LeBron here. I don't even think it's close. If they played a real game, I don't think it's close. Brandon, if they played a game, would this game even be close?
In terms of starting five, no, but I think if it was bench versus bench, I think Team Durant would win. But since it's
Oh,
going to be starting five versus starting five, I think Team LeBron obviously has a huge advantage. But hey, you got to factor in chemistry, how the guys fit and stuff, and you know what I mean. So, with that being all said, I think Team LeBron would win. That's my
yeah.
honest opinion.
I don't know why I went to that. Sorry. But yeah. Yeah, definitely starting five. I would definitely go with LeBron's team, but again, that team KD definitely has the better reserves. So we're gonna move on. I'll keep you guys here. We're gonna move on to the developing NFL free agency stories. It might not seem like it. You might have not heard a lot, but there actually is a few things going on in the NFL right now. And for those of you who joined us, you joined at like the worst time. We just got done with our NBA All Star game, but don't leave. We're about to get into the NFL free agency. This will be uploaded, so you can always go back and watch this. Again, if you have any questions, email me at bdivatb@gmail.com or just DM me on Instagram at bdiv_atb. Me and the guys would love to answer your questions here in chat as well. But we're going to move on to NFL free agency. So some stuff happened these past few days since our stream on Thursday. The main one being that the Broncos franchise tag safety Justin Simmons, who is a pretty good football player. The star safety in the Broncos couldn't make ends on a short-term deal at the moment, but Justin didn't want to leave Denver. He wants to stay in Denver. And for those of you who don't know what a franchise tag is, franchise tag really basically just signs a player for more than he's actually worth, but it's a short-term deal. But it gives the team time to work out contract negotiations, stuff like that. So, Zach, I'll ask you here because I told you I was literally going to ask you this here. Is it a good move to franchise tag Justin Simmons here?
I think it's a good move. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but good versatile player.
Oh yeah, he brings more of a I guess like more of like a Jamal, like he can definitely run stop like Jamal Adams. Not as good as Jamal Adams because that's all Blitz Boy does. He's not. We saw it against the Rams. Cooper Kupp just mossed him, and when you get mossed by a white guy, that just can't happen. But yeah, Brandon loved that one. But yeah, I would definitely go with a good franchise tag Justin Simmons. I'm not even thinking like who else would they have?
Vaughn, that's what
Oh,
So
okay.
that was the big dispute.
But here's the thing though, like Von Miller's kind of getting, he's getting
The thing about it, Denver's a quarterback away from contending next year.
that is true. Like they're very close. We got a lot of comments rolling in here.
Deshaun to Denver.
Yeah, you think Deshaun Watson's going to Denver?
No.
I would love to see that. I think he's either going to end up in Denver or Carolina.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sean Watson's got Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's again like we just have to look at it like it's too early to answer some of these questions. Ifs. We'll see here that the 49ers and the Patriots are fighting over a quarterback right now. But yeah, I think this is definitely a good move on Denver's part. There is some players like Von Miller and Cortland Sutton who both are pretty good, but both also have their faults. But Justin Simmons is the more that's the safe. If you're going to use a franchise tag this year, that's the safest franchise tag, in my opinion. Brandon, do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. He's the best. Yep.
That's probably the best option there. So,
Yep.
another. Oh, were you going to say something? Did I cut you off?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard you say something. I apologize. Next thing is this is a big one as far as like for the Steelers too. Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury spoke about running backs recently, and he said that the coaching staff is beyond, this is quoted, beyond confident that Chase Edmonds is fully capable of serving as the team's starting running back. So what that signs for the Steelers and other teams in the draft is that, hey, the Cardinals might not actually take a running back here. And Caden, I'll get to your question in a second. That's a really good question, and I think that brings up some discussion. But the team is comfortable with Chase Edmonds starting at running back. However, that brings up questions because Kenyon Drake is currently an unrestricted free agent, who, in my opinion, and me and Zach were talking about in the car, I think they're evenly matched. If not, Kenyon Drake might be the better running back. So, Fraz, I'll ask you, what are we thinking? Like, are the Cardinals going to take a running back in the draft now that they've said this?
I mean, on a bunch of mock drafts that I saw Najee Harris going to the Cardinals. But when you say that Chase Edmonds was they think that Chase Edmonds is going to be, locked in as a starter, that opens up a lot of possibility for the Steelers and maybe, I mean, Najee Harris would be, if he's on the table for the Steelers,
you have to take him.
He is definitely being taken.
You have to take him. And I think
facts.
The problem is that might apply to a few teams that go before us. Alex, I'll ask you the same question. Does this mean like Najee Harris? Like, do you think this is more of like a statement saying like if the Cardinals don't get a running back in the draft that they're comfortable with Chase Edmonds, or is this a sign like, hey, we're definitely go with Chase Edmonds? F a running back, we don't need him.
In my opinion, if I'm Arizona, I'm letting Kenyon Drake walk for what they traded for when they traded a second-round pick.
Yeah.
Did not live up to that value, in my opinion, but I thought Edmonds looked really good in his limited opportunities last year, and I think he could definitely be a bell cow running back for them. Yeah,
but that again, you have to look at it this way. The team now might have some depth issues here because if you're letting Kenyon Drake walk, then who else is there? Chase Edmonds and who exactly? So I mean, it's kind of like the same thing about the Steelers. Like James Conner. Yeah, again, Caden just asked really two good questions, and I'm gonna answer both of them before we even get to our next ones. But I just think again, I think if the Brando Big Me is he made an alt account to ask more questions. That's funny. I think what a guy, right? Yeah, very funny, very funny. I think the Cardinals, if they still have the option, if Najee Harris for some reason goes before 18, I actually think that they'd be okay with ETN too. again, this is a team that has Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, that's Brandon. Okay, I was gonna say what? Well, that didn't make any sense.
New addition.
My bad.
Yeah, and new addition J.J. Watt, but I was just looking at more of like the offensive side of the ball. You have a lot of guys like this could be a pass first team, and ETN actually would make more sense in a Cardinals offense than Najee Harris would. But Najee Harris is the better player, so if Najee for most teams past like that 18th pick, if Najee Harris is there, you take Najee Harris. Like it just makes sense. The first question Caden asked was, how much will Dak Prescott be paid, and where will he sign? So him and his camp made a statement saying that they're looking for a Patrick Mahomes type of contract. Now, for those of you who know what Patrick Mahomes' contract was, it was actually worth 5 years for $500 million, $500 million. That's absolutely insane. Brandon, do you think that there's any chance that a team would take a chance on Dak Prescott for signing that big of a deal?
No way, not that big of a deal. I think Dak is worth somewhere around like 35 to 36 million a year, but no way is he worth as much as Patrick Mahomes. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? That's just ridiculous. But again, like I think what I think is gonna end up with Dak is that I think he's gonna sign the franchise tag with Dallas, and they're not gonna be able to get a long-term deal done. So I think he's gonna play under the franchise tag with the Dallas Cowboys. Or watch out for this possibility: they could sign him to the franchise tag and call up Seattle and do a Russell Wilson for Dak Prescott trade.
That is a crazy possibility, Brandon. And again, the NFL is just not a crap show because it's not. But we have all kinds of different things going on here. We're going to talk about Russell Wilson in a second. But Fraz, I'll ask you as far as who reached top, Dak Prescott. Do you think he deserved? He's a good quarterback, and we saw it. We saw it before he got that gruesome ankle injury. Like they showed it on like during the game like 6 times. It was so not cool. But Fraz, Dark Prescott, nice kid. Do you think Dak Prescott deserves a contract? No, maybe not $500 million, but does Dak Prescott deserve a 5-year contract?
You know, after an injury like this, I feel like as a coach, it'd be hard to like see what you can sign him for. I like what Brandon said about the franchise tag. I think if they do that, they will see how he does. If he doesn't perform, then they know what to do with him. They can release him or do something with him, make a trade. But I think as of now, I don't think Dak should be given a whole lot of money. I like the franchise tag, what Brandon said.
Yeah, the franchise tag, again, for those of you who don't know, like a franchise tag is kind of like a placement contract for working out a longer contract. And that's what Denver's trying to do with Justin Sanders right now, actually. So, again, Caden, great question. But you actually asked another question about Alex Leatherwood from Bama. I think he's referring to the Steelers here. The Steelers definitely do need a lineman. Oh, or maybe he's talking about the Cardinals. I'm not really sure, but I guess we could apply this to both teams. Alex Leatherwood from Bama, and if ETN falls, I think he's definitely talking about the Steelers here. So,
yeah, 16. Yeah, I would.
Yeah. So again, both Alex Leatherwood and Travis Etienne are really good players. I think. Yeah, he's talking about the Steelers. So here's the thing. I'll let Alex go first. Alex, if ETN falls, I haven't thought about this too, but if ETN falls, do the Steelers take him?
It just totally depends on if Najee Harris is there or not. I think if Najee Harris is there, he's the pick for the Steelers. If he's gone, I think you have to go with ETN.
Now, here's the thing. I think, in my opinion, ETN's the better player. That's my opinion. I think he's better than Najee Harris, but because he's a little more versatile, he's faster. Literally, Alvin Kamara 2.0. But that's the problem. A speed back in a Steelers offense, and we've seen it before, and I think that's why, even was a late pick. I think that's why the Steelers ended up going with Connor a few years back. Connor's more of that bowling ball running back. ETN is not really a bowling ball quarterback. You see running back, close enough. You see that he's more of like, again, when I mentioned Alvin Kamara, He's more of like that receiver first back that would really fit in a team like Arizona. I don't see how you don't take ETN with that pick if that's what you're looking for and he falls. But as far as Alex Leatherwood goes, he proved to be a great pass protector for Bama. I mean, Mac Jones was able to have an incredible year behind him. But I think that there are some better picks here. And I'm gonna let Alex take this one here. Alex, I already know what you're gonna say, but who do you think the most versatile lineman is in this entire draft?
You know, I picked Elijah Vera Tucker.
Elijah Vera Tucker, I
guard
agree.
From USC. He can slide out and play tackle for you too. I think that'd be a great first round pick for the Steelers if he's there.
Yeah, and Elijah Vera Tucker, he at his time in USC started as a true freshman at center, then got bigger, bumped out to guard half a year, and then bumped back out to tackle for half a year, and then the team needed a guard, so he played guard his senior year, and is now projected to go in the first round. Brandon, if ETN is there for the Steelers, do you think he's a good fit?
Yeah, I think him or Najee Harris would be a great fit on the Steelers. Either one of them, I'd be happy with. But really, the Steelers need to evaluate these three positions at the draft: the quarterback position, the running back position, the offensive line position. Because if the Steelers think a franchise quarterback falls to them at 24, or they have an opportunity to trade up to get a franchise quarterback and let him sit behind Ben for a year or two, I think that's definitely a good possibility too. Because honestly, in the 2022 draft, I did a little research, and none of the quarterbacks coming out next year impressed me at all. So I would like Trey Lance or Mac Jones too, if that was a possibility for the Steelers.
And I don't think especially like the people I've talked to, I don't think a lot of people are looking at it like that. Like, yeah, we got Ben real cheap. Well, not real cheap. I think his signing bonus could have been a little bit lower. For those of you who know about Ben's contract, Ben actually signed the league minimum of $1.075 million for a 1-year contract, but they agreed on a $12-13 million signing bonus, and that kind of hurts the team. I think it could, even if it was like 10, I think that would have helped the team out a lot. But yeah, I got some other questions here. Steelers need a center or a tackle. Villanueva hasn't been playing that good. Again, the Steelers, the ideal pick here. I agree with Brandon. I think that the Steelers do need a quarterback, but I personally think if Ben starts, I think he has 1 more year left in him, and he went 33 for 10 touchdown to picks. That's not bad. He's old. The game is evolving. He can't move, obviously, but yeah.
They got to get somebody for the future.
Yeah, they got to get somebody for the future. And even though people were making fun of Green Bay for taking Jordan Love last year, I think that's definitely what they were going for. And I actually don't think that they even thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to play up to that level. And maybe he played with like a chip on his shoulder there. But I think that the Steelers hopefully could turn if Ben doesn't play like how he should. Yeah, his receivers really have to help him out. And getting rid of Juju, even though nobody likes him now, getting rid of Juju does not help at all. So in my opinion, I mean, if you think about it, AB's one of the best. Don't get me wrong. Well, maybe not anymore, but at the time he was. But I think Ben can still maybe not so much anymore, but Ben can still make receivers look really good. We had a lot of drop passes this year, and I think that really hurt the Steelers. But yeah, I mean, I think Ben has 1 more year left in him, and that's about it. I think after that, it's done. And if what Brandon says was true, there's no quarterbacks. There's no more quarterbacks going to in this upcoming draft. I mean,
nobody as good as
nobody as good as this year's. It might not be a great idea. So we're getting a few more questions here. Caden thinks that we should trade a first rounder for Jordan Love. I mean, Jordan Love was a pretty good football player back in college.
Green Bay wouldn't trade after investing a first.
Yeah, that
I would.
What do you
maybe a second round pick, maybe a second.
Okay. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I would consider maybe a second round pick and like a 5th round pick, but not a first round pick. I think you're overvaluing Jordan Love because I don't see it. I think he'll be a good quarterback, but I don't know. I'm not sure if he's worth a first round pick.
But here's the problem, and I'm gonna have to disagree there because I think that if you're gonna use a first round pick on a quarterback a year ago and he hasn't played at all, I don't really think that this is not saying Jordan Love is bad because he hasn't proven that he's really good yet either. But I don't think the Packers would trade for a first or at all really in that matter. I think they're very safe with Jordan Love right now, and I think
Yeah.
it definitely be in their best interest. Fraz, you were going to say something.
Yeah, was Caden talking about a 2021 or 2020?
I would assume. I mean, just in general, first round pick, whether
Okay,
it's this
well,
year or
I can see the Green Bay Packers considering that for the sole fact that Aaron Rodgers has not slowed down yet, and he's still I mean, don't get me wrong,
Still
that
playing at a high caliber
yeah,
right
that
now.
I mean that playoff game wasn't his best
the
game.
dude was an MVP. He
But
won
I mean,
MVP.
he's not. I mean, he hasn't slowed down. I can see another 3 years with him, just playing at a good level. So I can personally see them doing that and investing in another quarterback. If it was a 2021 draft 2021 first round draft pick, I can see them doing that because the quarterbacks this year are really good, I think, in this draft, and I don't think they're going to be
Very
good
deep.
I don't think they're going to be good in the following years. So, a 2021, I can see them considering doing that.
Considering, but I agree with some people here saying that that it's probably in the Packers' best interest just to keep Jordan Love. Again, this is the same thing that Aaron Rodgers did back when Brett Favre played. When Aaron Rodgers was drafted, this is for some reason what the Packers like to do. They take a back
Yep.
seat. Their quarterback takes a back seat, and
Veteran.
yeah,
for him
and
for a couple
and
years.
it worked for him. So I think that I think it definitely makes sense here. Let's move on to I believe there's oh yeah there's still I have a few more free agency draft stuff to talk about. So for interviews for the NFL, for first round draft picks, a team gets there's a new rule. A team gets 5 Zoom calls up to 2 hours with whoever whatever prospect they want. And the Jaguars, for some unknown reason, have used all 10 of their hours already on BYU's quarterback, Zach Wilson. And they've only used 4 hours on who is supposed to be their first pick of the draft, Trevor Lawrence. Max, I'll ask you, does this really raise any questions? Is Trevor Lawrence, what does this really even mean?
For me, I don't know. It's a little different because you'd think that most of their time would be spent with Trevor Lawrence, but
Yeah.
I honestly think that they've got him on a lock. I mean, I think they took a lot of time with Wilson just to kind of see what he's about and learn a little bit more about him. But I personally think that doesn't really change the fact that Trev's going to go number one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brandon, I'll ask you the same thing. Does this really mean anything at all?
No, but Trevor Lawrence is going number one. But it never hurts to evaluate all your options. You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt at all because Zach Wilson, I think he'll be a good quarterback in the NFL. So it's always good to, like I said, test your options, see, I mean, just to at least do research on him and stuff. And I mean, to be honest with you, I think Trevor Lawrence is so good and so great. I don't think you have to spend a whole lot of time watching film and interviewing him. So Zach Wilson is more unknown than Trevor Lawrence. So that's why I think they've spent more time on Zach Wilson than Trevor Lawrence. I think they pretty much know what they have in Trevor Lawrence already. So that's my take on it.
And that's a really good take. I'm going to be honest. Even if you look at Trevor Lawrence's high school tape, you could argue that he could be drafted in the NFL now. He was just that good. He's always been that good. I don't see that happening at all. Caden's asking some really good questions. This next one is a thought. I don't really see it happening, but Jacksonville will trade down and the Steelers trade up to take Trevor.
Man.
In my opinion,
What are we talking?
What?
3 first, TJ Watt and
Minka
Fitzpatrick.
Now again, I know it was dumb. But you still have to maybe think about it a little bit, I guess. I mean, yeah, you evaluate all your guys, and that's a good point. You really don't have to look at Trevor Lawrence or really talk to him at all. He's a really calm player. He's able to do everything. There's not much to ask about him. But maybe they're asking, like, hey, look at all these other guys. What if we look into these other guys, trade down, and possibly, like, it's not in the sense that letting a team take Trevor Lawrence, but the fact that we could even build up even more back to that Jacksonville squad that we were. I think it was 2016-17 with Jalen Ramsey, maybe even 2018 with that championship squad with they didn't win the Super Bowl, but they went pretty far with Jalen Ramsey, Leonard Fournette, those guys, Yannick Ngakoue, those guys. So again, this is a weird thing to talk about right now, and I think it definitely brings up some thoughts. A few more topics for the NFL free agency. The Bears have announced that their top priority at they have a priority at quarterback, but their top priority right now is Russell Wilson. Is Russell Wilson at quarterback? And sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. Russell Wilson's their top priority at quarterback right now, and they really just want to trade for him. And there was an ESPN report, I forget who it was from, but they said that, or they thought that there is no other team even close to what Chicago is offering for a 4 or 5 star quarterback in either Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson.
I agree with that. Like with Chicago's option.
Yeah. So, Fraz, I'll ask you: is there? I mean, Russ has expressed that he's not only unhappy with the team, but also the front office in general. He hasn't exactly demanded a trade, but he's also said in Chicago's favor that he's a fan of the Bears' offensive mind under head coach Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy.
Matt Nagy.
And also the market value that Chicago brings.
Yeah.
Fraz, does it make sense for Chicago to go after Russell Wilson?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Mitchell Trubisky, I think he's done. I don't see him coming back to Chicago. I didn't think he should have played this year on Chicago. They should have went with the other guy. I forget who it was. Yeah, Nick Foles. Yeah, and I really think Russell Wilson, if he likes it there, he likes the offense, I can definitely see him going there. Let's just see if the Seattle Seahawks are gonna deal with the Bears.
Yeah, and again, with Deshaun Watson, it might be even a little bit more, but you're gonna have to give up a ton for both of these guys. Brandon, do you think it'd be a fair trade-off? I'm assuming Chicago literally might give 3 first-round picks for the next 3 years and possibly a player to go with it. Do you think that would make sense for Chicago, or do you think it's a little bit of a reach?
Absolutely, it makes sense for Chicago. Chicago should pick up the phone with Seattle and not hang up until they hear a yes from Seattle. Listen, in the NFL, what makes or breaks your team is, do you have a franchise quarterback? Yes or no? And Russell Wilson is a franchise quarterback. And immediately before taking a snap, he'd be the greatest quarterback to ever play for Chicago. So you know what? If I'm Chicago, if the asking price is Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, and 3 first-round picks, I'm doing that, and I'm not hesitating because you can replace them guys. You can't find a Russell Wilson. I'm sorry,
Brandon. What are the Bears going to get in the draft?
Ooh, that's a good question. Like, I
mean, if let's say if they go with Russell Wilson, I really think they should consider he needs to throw to someone. I mean, Allen Robinson.
That is true.
Allen Robinson.
He's a free agent. Yeah, so
they're going to franchise him. Franchise tag.
With Russell Wilson, they have to go with a wide receiver, and if they think they're going to land it after the draft, then take the chance and get a wide receiver.
No, hold on, just a sec. 1 second, Brandon. So you think that he'll walk? Brandon actually thinks that if the team uses a franchise tag somewhere, it's on him.
Robinson. Yeah, if they consider,
I mean,
they can't let Allen Robinson walk for nothing.
Yeah,
he's too good a receiver to let walk.
It would make sense. So yeah, I think that Allen Robinson, if tagged, would help out Russell Wilson, but
yep.
Again, that even if they don't trade for Russell Wilson, which at this point we didn't think it was likely. We thought, oh, this is just a bunch of baloney stuff like that. There's no way Russ is leaving Seattle. Russ has openly said stuff now like, hey, I like. I said, hey, really weird there. I think Russ has openly said like, hey, I like how Chicago runs their offense, stuff like that. And I think that definitely that there's a chance now. But if Chicago doesn't go with or with Russell Wilson, trades for him, obviously they'll have to give up their first from this year. That's number one. But if they don't go with him, I think that they're, no matter what happens, they have to go receiver. It just really all depends what Allen Robinson does. They still have Mooney, who I know Alex really likes Darnell Mooney. He's probably like one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. The guy's a great route runner, like top tier route runner. The problem is they just haven't found a quarterback to throw it to. But who knows? Maybe if Chicago, if it falls that far, the perfect alignment for Chicago, in my opinion, would be if they have a quarterback fall to them. They use their franchise tag on Allen Robinson, and then now you have a better quarterback than the Nickelodeon MVP Mitch Trubisky, and yeah. So I don't know. I think that again, it all depends on the draft. Some of these questions are too early to answer. But let's move on to our. Oh, we have one more. No, sorry, two more things. I'm not going to ask any questions about this one. A defensive back from Georgia by the name of Eric Stokes in his own pro day, which there's no whatchamacallit. There's no I cannot think of it right now. There's no combine this year, so they have their own pro days, and Eric Stokes from Georgia ran a 4.24 at his pro day, and which is the second fastest time ever. Actually, no, it's tied for second with some other players. The fastest, obviously, is John Ross from back in 2017. So I thought that was pretty, which was a 4.22, which I thought that was pretty cool to note. But the last thing for NFL free agency I want to talk about is Jimmy G's camp, which is people close to Jimmy G's age and stuff like that, said that he'd love to return to New England as their starting quarterback for the Patriots. To start his career, Garoppolo was second behind, not arguably. I think TB12 is the best to ever do it in football. Jimmy then found opportunity in San Fran, where his whole tenure there can basically just be summed up as full of injuries. Like, the dude was always hurt. And when he wasn't, he played okay. He wasn't – yeah. He did take him to the Super Bowl, but besides that, like it's more like a Carson Wentz situation. Like he played good for 1 year, and it's kind of, and he just got hurt, and it just. Cam Newton isn't expected to return after a not so good showing in 2020. Both the 49ers and Patriots have good enough picks where if they really wanted to take a quarterback in the draft, they could. Zach, I'll ask you: is there really any way that Jimmy G could return to New England?
Oh, I think he will go to New England because, he knows Belichick, he knows the offense. He never got a chance, obviously, to be the starter in New England because of Brady. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, and I think that definitely. I don't really know. It is again way too early, and those are two teams that I think in most of our mock drafts. Alex had a really weird one, whatever. But most of us had quarterbacks going with both of those picks. So I think that actually I don't know, but I think that definitely that there is a possibility, and I want to speed things up here because I don't want to say we're running out of time, but we still have a lot of stuff to talk about here. Brandon, I'm gonna cut you off here, bro, because I'm gonna be honest. You're a very knowledgeable person, but I think everything at this point on, you probably don't know much about. But Brandon, I think
Nope.
yeah, I didn't think so. Brandon, I thank you for coming on today, man, and you did a great job filling in for football and basketball.
Peace, guys.
Yeah. I'll see you, Brandon. Again, that was Brandon. Brandon did a. Yeah, we don't want to clap for him because the dog. But yeah, so again, thank you, Brandon, for coming on. But we're gonna move on to real quick. We haven't talked about it since the first show or the second show again. I can't remember. But a lot of music news over these past few days. Drake, Lil Durk, Juice World, Lil Baby, YBN, Almighty J. They're all headlining in rap this weekend. So we'll start with Drake. Drake dropped an EP called Scary Hours 2 that features 3 tracks. The original Scary Hours featured only 2 songs. One of those being God's Plan, which again probably one of Drake's best. Well, not to some people, best selling songs. Correct, like radio, like you. That's a song that you would definitely play on the radio. Despite dropping any music this year up until Friday, Drake already reached 1 billion streams by the end of January, which is absolutely insane. The songs on Scary Hour 2 give off some sort of freestyle vibe simply for the fact that Drake is offbeat for most of the song, most of the time. Drake is also expected to release a longtime project called Certified Lover Boy sometime before June. Max, what was your favorite song out of the 3? You remember?
So I really like What's Next, and I know when you were just talking about how he did it like earlier with Scary Hours, and he came out with Scorpion was the last one. So now it seems like we're going to get Scary Hours and Scary Hours 2, and maybe in a month or 2 we're going to get his next album, Certified Lover Boy. So I think this is good. Usually when he comes out with one of these little EPs, it's kind of to ramp up the hype for his next album. I think it's done a good job of it. I mean, his next one, he's been coming out with great albums for a long time, so I think it's going to be just as good.
Yeah, and that brings up another point. We've had our GOAT discussions here, and we've literally asked about GOAT of GOATs before, but we haven't talked about the GOAT of music, or as far as the rap game goes. I mean that. Yeah, I would agree.
Well,
Drake is one of them. We all are very. I'm gonna be honest. I think all of us here are very biased. Like Max would probably say Kanye.
I'm going Drake.
Fraz agrees it's Drake. I'm a huge
We're talking about new age, right?
yeah, like not like because people will probably say Tupac is the best. I love Tupac and Biggie. They're both really good, but again, it's hard. It's almost like comparing older. It's the same thing. It's like you can't really compare. It's hard to compare LeBron and MJ because they played in 2 different eras. This is kind of the same way. So yeah, I mean, statistically, I don't think it's close. I think Drake is definitely. Well, I don't know
Depends. Drake's still a little bit earlier in his career than Kanye.
Yeah.
I'd say I think we can all agree those are 2 of the top guys of this generation.
Definitely. Yeah. So, is it actually your birthday? No, not you, Alexis. Oh, shut up. Yeah. Yeah. So again, Scary Hours 1 and 2, both just EPs to kind of, like Max said, I think it's just to hype up his album. Let's move on to our next group of rappers. Juice WRLD collabs with Clever and Post Malone for a single called Life is a Mess 2. Life's a Mess 2, excuse me. Juice WRLD's music is still being dispersed over time since his death. I'm assuming that his label is saving his music just to stretch out more money. This is not the same situation like X. X actually, his mom she just wanted the money really bad. She dropped all of X's unreleased music on SoundCloud and most of it on Apple. This is not, and it did not turn out good. Really ruined his reputation. Nobody really talks about him anymore. We obviously know that Post Malone is talented. He's a great singer. But Clever, who nobody really talks about, yes, is very special.
One I added on there. He's in Ring Ring with Juice WRLD.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, you did write that. Also in Ring Ring. He doesn't sound heavily auto-tuned. So again, he's legit. He first came on the scene with his song with NLE Choppa called "Stick by My Side" and also "Ring Ring." Again, both of those songs, he really just shows that he's just really good. What are you doing?
Sorry,
he's tired. Very tired.
Itchy.
Friday played baseball today.
Sleeping over.
I think it's being
really weird.
But Clever's done pretty good. I mean, I actually don't know if he has any like full albums or anything, but I know he's a good little they throw him in features and stuff, and he helps to make the song better. But I don't think it's anything more than that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the rapper Lil COVID.
Lil COVID. Who? Clever.
Feature
Zach did
artist.
just pull it up.
He
He's
is
got
he is an upcoming album.
upcoming album.
I think that's
Oh,
his
so
first
he-
one.
The track list is already out. Let me scroll down to the song.
He's definitely an interesting artist. Like he's definitely unique in his own way. Like, I've
Yeah,
never
it's
heard
kinda
anyone that
like-
sounds like him.
It's I wouldn't say he's a knockoff because he was there before, but he's kind of like Kid Leroy in the sense, and Post Malone, I guess, where they kind of bring like a rap yet singing
Yeah.
style to it.
Yeah, he's definitely
Most of those guys like to, expand their, people that listen to them.
Yeah, and Brandon, to answer Brando, I was trying to avoid you because you're very annoying, but I'm glad you come out and watch the streams. My favorite rapper is the king of SoundCloud, Lil Uzi Vert. I don't. For me, it's not close. Right now, I think Lil Baby's doing really good as well.
Oh, Billy, the Clever album is coming out.
Next Friday for the Clever album, which I'm eager to see how he'll do. Like I'm sure he has some singles on there, or not singles, but solos on there by
There's a
himself.
lot of features on there too.
Yeah.
He already has one release with Chris Brown.
Okay.
It's like the
Another rapper that's kind of has a singing sense to him, except Chris Brown talks about his love and he's really weird and he beats his fiancées and stuff like that. So we don't talk about Chris Brown. We don't like Chris Breezy. We don't fault with Chris Breezy.
His music's never really been that good either.
Yeah.
he had a couple of those.
He has
like,
a few songs that are okay,
those
but,
catchy
like,
songs that people listen to.
Yeah,
But
that's
he's never been like recognized.
He'll be more of like a TikTok song guy from now on.
Yeah, I want to see how famous from his dancing.
Yeah, it would be, yeah. So let's move on to our next set of rappers. So I don't know if you guys know much about them. I definitely follow them. Lil Durk produces and sings in Jump, featuring the late King Von and Booka 600. Now I've never heard of Booka 600, but from the one song I listened to, the way I describe it is very similar flow with both King Von and Lil Durk. Lil Durk has actually been consistently putting out good music since the beginning of the year, despite the loss of King Von, which I actually thought would stir things up for him. But still, he's been putting out songs pretty consistently. The whole story with King Von and Lil Durk is Durk actually put Von on the map, somewhat served as a mentor, not only in music but on the streets as well. Oh boy. Yeah, so it is rumored that King Von has over 300 unreleased songs, according to his manager, and expect his label to drop more songs in the future, especially ones that feature Lil Durk. Two more rap things to talk about real quick. In my opinion, Lil Baby's kind of at the top of the rap game right now, but Baby dropped a single on Friday titled "Real as It Gets" featuring ESTG. The song is an absolute banger for show. This Baby's flow in the song is absolutely insane, just like most of his songs. And yeah, no, I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, he's
Like, not at all. Yeah, it's whatever. So anyway. So, yeah, and I think Lil Baby's kind of on the top of the rap game right now.
Yeah, you've been talking about him a lot, at least in like the past year or two.
Like again, he's definitely like. Oh, did Stella fart? Oh, jeez. Max is. Oh my goodness. Max's dog just took a dump.
I think it was
Oh my
It
goodness.
might have been Scout, but I think it was.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
This is
Stella
literal
took a
Stella.
fart. But getting back on topic here, this isn't new for Lil Baby, but ESTG, another rapper we haven't heard of. This is a great start. Again, this is kind of a weird comparison I'm making here. That's my dog. This is kind of a weird comparison here, but he kind of reminds me of he hasn't dropped in a while. Black Youngsta with a Polo G vibe. He could definitely make a run in the rap game if he's consistent. That's how good I think he actually is with popular artists. But for Lil Baby, this is just another chart-topping song that is regular for him. Fraz, I'll ask you, do you agree with me that Lil Baby is kind of on the top of the rap game right now?
Yeah, definitely. Especially with his like releases through the past year. I mean, they've just been just on the charts. So I mean, I think he's a really good rapper.
Yeah, and I think that there's rappers that put out music a lot. There's rappers that put out music a lot, but as far as consistency matched with quality music, I think that definitely he meets that standard of that, and I think he's really good in that sense. One more music thing to talk about. YBN Cordae and YBN Namir have been doing well recently after numerous drops, but YBN Almighty J finally drops an album since his 2019 hit Spaceship. The album called Battling My Spirit. Jay dives into a deep and twisted tale of his recent depression. Why did I type it like that? The main song in his album is also called Battling My Spirit, but the album also features 7 songs that all have the same theme. Struggle and perseverance is that theme. Jay is not only a talented artist, but what?
You're like reading comments.
Oh yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. I blocked.
I think Brandon.
No, who's that new one?
The blog.
Oh yeah, you're
So
going
you're
back.
talking about YBN, right?
Yeah,
I think with them, I mean, with him specifically, who's a dropping Almighty.
yeah. Almighty J.
I think his biggest thing is the album could be good, and this is what I wanted. This is his second album.
Yeah,
The only thing for him is a lot of his music is like the same exact style, and
yeah,
that's what we see. Like we were talking about this with the Baby earlier. Like the tale of time for rappers is after those first 2 albums, if they're sticking with that same type of music, if they can take a step and change it up, like we said, Playboy Cardi's album was a flop. It
yeah.
was not very good. He tried to switch it up, and we just honestly need to see the second one should be good, but after that, it's really we're going to get to see if he's going to be like a rapper that's going to stay around in the game for a couple years.
Yeah, and I agree definitely. But here's the thing: YBN actually broke up, but it wasn't because of them. They're all really good friends still.
I mean, they got to a certain point where they could all have their own separate careers.
Exactly.
Just like Ray Sherman did and Sway Lee.
And I think that like the whole thing is like they've actually proven that they can do that, especially for like Cordae and Namir. They're both doing really well right now. But the group didn't break up because they like hate each other or anything like that. They actually broke up with a legal issue for the trademarking of the group. Basically, their agent screwed them over, or their label, excuse me. YBN Cordae, who recently took out YBN out of all of his names. He's just Cordae now.
Yeah.
He's been very silent, but both Namir and Jay have been very proactive on social media. They both expressed in different ways that they believe that their label took advantage of the group. Probably they didn't. I mean, it could be their fault that they didn't read in between the fine lines, but definitely like not that great of an idea. Uh, but so Fraz, I'll ask you. Is there a chance that maybe we could see a collab with these 3 again in the future?
I mean, possibly. I mean, if it does well, I can't see them not doing it again.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I don't know if their label is really holding that back anymore. What's going on there?
Yeah.
But let's get into what everybody came here for. What our main thing was tonight. I saved it best for last. I'm gonna call it the tail of the tape. UFC 259 is tonight. It already started, but the main cards actually start soon. So, which I actually kind of want to wrap this up now because I didn't even know it started that fast. Oh, do we actually have to take a pee break? No, we have to take a pee break. Yeah, I apologize. That's a great idea. I haven't taken a pee break in a while. Let's do that. Yeah, so sorry about that pee break. We just took the longest pee break ever. But for me, just for me, not until recent I've gotten to UFC, but from what I know, this is the most stacked card in a very long time. 3 title bouts tonight, and boy, there are some good ones. There are some names I know in here for sure. The first title bout will be is it Jan or Yan? Jan versus Sterling for the bantamweight championship. The fight will kick off for the final stretch of the title bouts. Jan is under on this one, starting off his career 7-0. Jan is said to be somewhat overrated and undeserved of this match, believe it or not. He hasn't fought a ton of competition. Some of those names being, is it Urige? Is it Faber? The guys,
Uriah Faber.
Yeah, Uriah Faber. I knew that. I don't know why I asked you. Jose Aldo and Jose Aldo. Both of their way out of their prime, and they suffer from like the aging in the sport aspect. Most CBS analysts go with Sterling in this fight. The Funk Master is currently 19-3 in his UFC career. He last went up against 14-1 Cody Sandhagen and defended his belt. To no surprise, it was a submission in the first minute 30 of the match. Sterling has a reach advantage of 71 inches to 67 inches. They are both 5'6". Alex, I'll ask you first. Seeing who it's Yan, right?
Peter Yan.
Yan, right? Sorry, Yan. Do you think Yan deserved this title shot?
Peter Yan actually holds the title.
Oh, he holds the title.
Sterling's challenging him. It's Yan's first title defense. I have him winning this in his first title defense. Sterling's a really good wrestler, but Yan's very good on the feet and striking. I think he'll catch him somewhere in this 5 rounds.
So, who did Yan?
Yan beat Aldo for the
Aldo had the title that late.
No, it was actually it was vacant, and then those two fought.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, so Alex is going to go against what bettors and analysts say here. He thinks that he thinks Yan is going to take this one. I'm going to say Sterling. Sterling, from the games or from the matches I've watched, Sterling is definitely a way better wrestler. Most of his, if they're not decision, they're submission. And he's done that a few times in his career. He's not really a knockout fighter, but he does have that reach. They're both 5'6", so the height isn't really a thing, which it will matter in some of these later fights. But I'm gonna go with Sterling on this one. Again, the 71-inch factor for takedowns as well. If he gets him in a good spot, definitely can get him with a ground and pound. But again, Sterling is the better wrestler. If he's gonna get him, I feel like he's gonna catch us weird here. I think Sterling. I'm gonna say first round submission. Fraz, what do you think?
I got Sterling too. I mean, I've always liked the ground fighters more in a fight, just because it gives them more versatility in the match, and that's why I think Sterling has the advantage over Yan.
Yeah, and reach again is a big factor here. Yeah. Tangibles, people just look at
71 to 67, which is that's a lot.
That's a significant number, and you'll see through all these other fighters that it's not really much of a difference, but here it is. Let's move on to our second one here because we are running out of time. Title fight number 2 is the women's featherweight title. Now, I'm going to be honest. When we watched the last card, who was it again? Oh, the McGregor one. The Poirier McGregor. The female fight at the beginning, even though it's not that important, and it was the beginning. It was just about. It wasn't a title match or anything like that. I didn't really get into it. This is a very important match here. The bout will include 6-foot Megan Anderson, that's very tall for a 6'8", Ethan. Jesus, 6 foot, which can be a gift and a curse. And in this case, I'm gonna be honest, it can't. Oh, what's that?
Well, I was gonna say like the reach and stuff could change it, but also they weigh the same amount. So Amanda she's only 5'7".
Let's see that Nunez has a 69-inch reach, and Anderson has a 72-inch reach.
And they're that much.
They're 5-inch difference in height, which is ridiculous.
Amanda Nunez is the greatest women's fighter of all time.
All time.
She beat Ronda Rousey. She's beaten everybody. If you're putting money on any fight tonight, put your money on.
Put your money on Nunez.
Megan Anderson.
So
too long,
Nunez is also. Oh, sorry. Nunez is considered to be one of the best knockout female fighters Nunez considered to be one of the best knockout female fighters ever. In her weight class, actually no, screw the weight class ever in the UFC. She is 20-4 in her professional career. I believe she has a really nasty right hook, and that's how she knocks out most of her opponents. So I'm gonna go with Nunez on this one, despite Anderson being 6 foot. I mean, I don't really think that matters that much when you're going up against somebody who's that good. I see you guys shaking your heads.
Especially she's down on a she weighs a lot less too.
Yeah,
I mean, they weigh the same amount,
but
for being
but for
5
being
inches taller,
yeah. So the last one, which I didn't get to finish typing, but it's the most important one. Adesanya versus Black. I might
Blahovic.
Belovich.
Blahovic.
Blahovic. Oh, there is an H in there. I'm embarrassed because this is the main fight, and I just looked at the stats and stuff like that.
Jan.
Yeah, Jan. That's right, Jan. So Israel Adesanya currently holds an unbeaten record and holds the middleweight title, but he bumped himself up to 205 to take on Jan for the light heavyweight title. He looks to become a double title holder just to quote unquote show off. Adesanya is better on his feet. He's obviously a lot versatile. He's very versatile.
He's younger too, so he's a little quicker.
Yeah, and honestly, like if you're gonna compare him to a fighter, I mean, I don't think you can really compare anybody to Khabib, but I think that Khabib Nurmagomedov, I got that one. Like in a sense where I mean, Khabib is definitely a better fighter. That's my opinion, but like in a sense where he's very versatile. He can do pretty much everything. If he gets you on the ground, you're screwed. Up against the cage, you're screwed. It doesn't really matter. Jan, which I believe his thing is the Polish something.
Polish power.
The Polish power. So he's more of a stand-up guy as well. He's a very powerful striker. And when you start going up in those weight classes, you know, the lighter guys, the smaller guys, you see more of like a ground game submission, which we'll probably see with that fight with what's his name? The first fight with Jan or is it
Sterling.
Yeah. And so I think you'll definitely see that there. But I mean, this is going to be a really good fight in my opinion.
This is one to watch if you're going to watch it.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the main card. If you're going to buy,
tonight's a good night.
Yeah. And this is probably, like I mentioned earlier, probably one of the most stacked cards in a while. 3 title fights, and 3 title fights is just an absurd amount. But yeah, real quick, Alex, I'll ask you first. Predictions, round and winner, and how for that fight.
Adesanya is going to win. I'm rooting for Jan though. He could knock him out and catch him with a shot somewhere. But Adesanya is so good on the feet. I think it'll be a decision. But yeah, I'll take us off.
Frez, what are you thinking?
I'm literally the same thing. I'm rooting for Jan, but Adesanya is definitely going to win. I mean, he's just younger and has more reach, just more of an impact wrestler or fighter.
Yeah, Max, we'll ask you last, and then we'll wrap things up real quick here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going with the same thing. I think Israel, he also has that little chip on his shoulder. He's trying to go up a weight class and show he can still do it with the bigger guys, so I'm going with him.
Yeah, and thank you guys for coming out. Not for coming out. I actually came out to Max's house, but again, we like to. Whoa! Not here. Did I say Max's house? Yeah, but again, thank you guys. I think it was a pretty good show, despite which I'm going to talk about here in a second. Guys, the comment section was a little too wacky tonight. I'm going to be honest. I had to make a few adjustments. So again, I don't care. It got to a point where none of this was about sports. It can be a fun time. I don't really care. But the last thing I want to mention real quick is make sure you follow my Instagram because I'm going to be posting information about a giveaway for BDIV and the boys merch. It looks really nice. I'm not even going to show you guys yet. That's how nice it looks. But yeah, again, if you have any questions, email me at BDIV. Let me pull it up real quick. BDIVATB@gmail.com. Again, this was a pretty good stream. We covered a lot of stuff. For those of you who joined late, we covered UFC. We covered music. We covered the All-Star game tomorrow starting at 6:30 p.m. NFL free agency. We talked about all kinds of stuff. Again, thank you guys for coming out, and we'll see you guys later.
Deuces.